The views expressed are not necessarily those of KSCJ and Powell Broadcasting Company. This program is not intended to replace the advice of doctors or other clinical providers. Consult with your practitioner to ensure the proper course of action for you.
Welcome to When Things Aren't Going Well on AM 1360, FM 94.9 KSCJ. This program is dedicated to your mental health wellness and brought to you by Family Services, a United Way partner agency. Here's your host, Art Silva.
Good morning, Siouxland, and welcome to When Things Aren't Going Well. This show is all about your mental wellness and how you can help yourself navigate the daily highway of life. We hope to educate and motivate you to help improve your mental wellness environment. I'm Art Silva, and our show is brought to you by Boys and Girls Home and Family Services, a United Way partner agency serving the Siouxland community since 1894. Let me introduce my co-host, Brenda Geisinger, the Chief Operating Officer of Boys and Girls Home and Family Services. Good morning, Brenda.
Good
How you
morning.
living?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'd say we're getting down. Weeks moving on, and, you know, it's always another opportunity, and it's great to see you. And we got a special show today, so I'm going to let you do the introduction of our guest and topic, please.
So today we have with the Siouxland Mental Health, and our guest is Amy Small. I used to work with Amy Small, and she has been on the radio show before, and I feel like it's homecoming.
Yeah,
as we kick off the football season. It's like, woohoo, here we are. So Amy Small works at Siouxland Mental Health, and she is the team lead, and she is going to talk about their grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony that's coming up with the Children and Adolescent Center. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you. It's definitely like coming home, being back. I tell everybody I grew up as Family Services, that you and Art and Rosie really put a lot of time and effort into me and helped me grow in confidence and make me the therapist I am today. So it's always nice to be here.
Well, Amy, we're glad you're here also, and we've been focusing 2023 on families and the stress that they're going through. We've talked about different segments of the family, and now today, with your new opening, you're going to address children and adolescents and the stress that they experience in the family environment. So we're excited to hear about it. But before we do that, give us a little background on you, Amy. Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So as we kind of talked about, I used to work with Family Services. I started as a school-based therapist with you guys and then moved into the outpatient setting. Before that, I did work some time right out of grad school in the addictions field. And now I am the child and adolescent therapy team lead with Siouxland Mental Health. So I work predominantly with children and families and adolescents, and partner with schools and things like that. It's a really fun job for me.
Well, we think you're perfectly placed there because you have such a way with children, and you live it. I mean, you show it. Your enthusiasm. I'd feel comfortable sitting around you, and we're going to learn more about some of your programs. So this is really good. So I'm Art Silva along with Brenda Geisinger and our guest Amy Small, and you're listening to When Things Aren't Going Well. So let's continue our discussion on the new Children and Adolescent Center. So Amy, let's say, okay, you got your ribbon cutting coming up. You want to tell us something about the festivities and what we can expect?
Yes, so actually we had our ribbon cutting yesterday.
Oh,
and
congratulations.
Yes,
I missed
it. Thank you. It was really exciting. It was we had a lot of people come out and support us, so we were happy to see the turnout that we had there. We actually open on the 18th is when we will start seeing clients in office, but so we've got moving coming up here and things like that, but we are really excited to get into the building. It's a place that was designed especially for children, and I think that's really, really big. A lot of times we try to fit children into places that were designed for adults, and this is just the opposite. It's a place where kids can come, until they're 12, they really don't have the abstract reasoning yet, and so play is their language. And so this building is meant for them to come in and use their language of play and really process what they're going through, build confidence, and share their emotions. So I'm really, really excited that we have this building and this place in the Siouxland area.
I love the fact that you say play is their language. That's what kids are supposed to do.
Yep.
Play, don't go up so fast. So that sounds like a lot of fun. What are some of the exhibits you have there that you're going to be focusing on?
So, and while our focus is children and adolescents in that building, we also are going to have families there. And I think a lot of times when you're working with children, it's important to involve the families, because as adults, sometimes we forget how to play. And so teaching families how to play together is really exciting. Some of the different things that we will have there, we have a virtual reality or VR therapy, which is relatively new. We'll be using a VR headset as a tool to help with anxiety, maybe some PTSD, things like that, teach some mindfulness skills. We'll have a sensory room, an area there. We have art therapy, and then music therapy, which is really cool.
Love it.
Yes, we're partnering with Midbell and getting some instruments there that we can help them do, lyric writing and things like that. So that's really exciting.
We just did a show last week on music and mental health.
Yeah, that's great.
Glad to hear you're doing that. That's another language unto itself,
Yes.
music.
Yes, and we have a sports therapy room. Shields has donated some things for the sports therapy room, which is really exciting. There's a lot of kids that really like to be involved in sports, but when it comes time to the performance part of it, they get a lot of anxiety. And so kind of working through some of that stuff. And then, of course, we're going to have play therapy rooms there as well. It's just going to be, like I said, a place where kids are allowed to use their language to help express what's going on for them.
Following COVID, we're seeing the lack of communication. We're just trying to reconnect, and the kids really suffered a lot. We saw that the family suffered, but the kids more so. And being able to reconnect in their environment, using their language, is so critical. What ages the children do you have?
We start them 2 or 3 years old all the way up to 18, and if they go a little bit young adults, they can come see us there too. It's another really good thing about the building is that we're going to have our psychiatric nurse practitioners there. We're going to have IHH, which is our integrated home health services, there as well. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop. They can come in and talk to all of us and get all of the different types of services that we have there. So,
this community, Brenda, you play a large part in this community because of our involvement with the residential children and our family services families that we deal with. No one has all of the resources. It's very important that we collaborate with other services, because the real problem back when we started looking at mental health was access to care. So whoever's doing it and providing that service is critical. And we find a good quality of service out there because, as you know, programs overlap and people go from one program to another. But the common denominator, and Brenda, you can probably talk better to this, is the compassion, the caring for the kids that a lot of the therapists and mental health workers have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we, as the professionals per se in the fields, we're like a big family. Amy and I are close. I'm close with Amy at Catholic Charities. We all kind of grew up together at the same time through the profession, and it's exploring ideas. And you're right. Nobody has the one-stop shop in terms of we can do it all. It's working together, and our focus is to how to make Siouxland better. Help the families, help the kids, help the adults. And we want to spread that message. Who can do what, and how can we work together to help everybody?
Absolutely. And it might be where someone is going to one agency for individual, going somewhere else. We have groups, so maybe they're coming for us to groups, and then therapists together partnering on how we can support families together.
It's great that you're bringing in the parents, and this parental involvement is so critical where you have it. And a lot of times you don't have that at all. So it's good to have this place where kids can go and kind of like learn, watch how families come together, because that whole family unit is so different today. It's not Wally and Beeve and June and Ward. Not anymore. I mean, and then the shift work and the impact that's having on raising our children. With the daycare issue, there's so many things that touch our children that we have to be prepared to block for them and give them the ability to thrive. And I think once the kids come out of their own shell and they start to develop their personalities, they start to thrive. So it sounds like you're giving them that environment, Amy.
Well, and I think, I don't know if you guys experience this too. When families come to you, they've heard a lot of negative things about their kids, or they've had a lot of behaviors. And so there's this defeated almost look. And so part of it is we get to be the people that come in and say, wow, you guys are really doing this great, or this is going really well for your family. How can we take that and maybe transfer it over to the areas that aren't going so well? And so I think that's a super fun and exciting thing that we get to do.
That is exciting.
We get to be their cheerleaders and their advocates and help them learn how to work better together, because they're already doing a lot of things right. They're just not giving themselves credit.
I tell you, right. That's so true. And a little encouragement and reinforcement goes a long way. We're coming up on our break, so continue your early morning chill. We'll be right back with more of When Things Aren't Going Well right here on 1360 AM, 94.9 FM, KSCJ.
Let's face it, that happens to all of us. However, the pandemic has compounded all of our lives and activities. Even the simplest tasks seem harder. Hi, I'm Brenda Geisinger, the Chief Operating Officer at the Boys and Girls Home and Family Services. Family Services is a United Way partner agency serving children and families of our community, and we're here to help. If you'd like to learn more about Family Services, please contact us via email, website, Facebook, or phone Mary Pickens. At Family Services, we change lives.
Welcome back to When Things Aren't Going Well on KSCJ. Here's Art Silva.
Welcome back to When Things Aren't Going Well. I'm Art Silva along with Brenda Geisinger and our guest Amy Small, and we'll continue our discussion on the new Siouxland Mental Health Children and Adolescent Center. Okay, Amy, let me ask you this. How do I get my child into this program?
So, call us. Come to our office.
Okay. That's simple, huh?
We do have the ability to do same day intake. So if you call us in, we can get you in that same day. We also, if you're in crisis, we have same day crisis. So call and come on in, and we will take care of you.
And what's that number?
Yes, thank you. So it's 712-226-4543, or it's 2264-KID is the phone
Okay,
number.
Amy, Brenda, you and I are going to be witness to a new introduction, a new character. Now, I grew up sending my nephews and stuff and godson Captain Underpants. And I kind of like the books, there are a whole bunch of them. So anyhow, I understand, Amy, that you have a Captain Kind.
We do.
You want to tell us about Captain Kind?
You know what? Captain Kind is super wonderful. All the kids that come in are going to get to be their own superheroes, because they actually have the ability to solve their own problems. Sometimes as adults, we just get in the way for them, right? And so it's teaching them the confidence that I can figure these things out. Captain Kind, obviously wants to have the message where be kind to others and things like that. But really, it's also about being kind to ourselves, taking care of our mental health. When we're having an off day, being like, okay, it's okay, and be kind to ourselves. So we're really excited to partner with Captain Kind and have him kind of be our spokesperson a little bit.
What an opportunity to address issues that they may see in the news or things like that. How do we handle this? And Captain Kind could be a great how do we interpret these things? Let's talk. How do we talk about these things in the news and stuff like that? And most importantly, what do we do? Yeah. How do we be kind? How do we look for the good things that are going on in life and not all the bad things? And I love getting back to kindness. I mean, it's that simple. Just be kind to each other. So we're going to have some adventures with Captain Kind?
Absolutely. It wouldn't be me without adventures. There definitely will be some adventures. I think the big thing part of that is, though, too, is that, each child that comes in there, they get to be their own superhero and name whatever they want their superhero to be. So I'm really excited for them to have that opportunity.
Well, Amy, having known you from previous working together, colleague, I remember the two of you and Brenda, and And you two had a phrase. Is it a vinegar or honey day or something like that? I want to ask Brenda, hey, is it a vinegar or honey day? What's the day like? So that's something I remember that you brought to the table that you two work. And I guess it's that internal support that we get from each other. It's the collaboration and the bonding. I know that working on the show here, I love working with Amy Block and Jennifer Jackson. They are really dedicated to what they're doing in their field, and they are really helping a lot of people in this community. So we want to share in that joy, and we want to be able to, how can we help them? Talking sometimes, listening, what are you doing? What I like about our environment is that it's non-competitive. It shouldn't be that way. We all take in children who we feel we can help. If we can't help the child, then we have to find another means of getting the child the help they need. And we're problem solvers. And it's never any day is like a template where you just go right down the book and check everything off. My wife used to teach English, and I taught social studies. And I thought she got the wrong end of the stick because she had to come over and read these essays. Mine was just multiple choice. Okay, zap, I'm done. But I think as we go forward, as we structure things around our kids, Amy, you hit it on the head when you said the language of play. Adults have forgotten how to play correctly. Let me put it like that, because what we're seeing right now, just a change. I won't say a meanness, that's too strong a word, but there's a subtle anger out there as groups get together and try to find a pathway to go forward. And I see it a lot with our adolescents. I've never seen this much turmoil in reading the reports that are coming out on what adolescents are going through right now. The anxiety, the depression. Parents, if you think you have a test, your kids have it worse. They don't have this brain development yet. They don't have this experience and wisdom that you've accumulated over a lifetime. So I like the adventure part of it, and I loved being self-sufficient. Let's get back to that and not having everybody do everything for us.
And adolescents like play too. So they like play too, and they like play with their parents. I say this a lot, and you guys have probably heard me say this even with clients, is the families do the work. They come in and see me maybe 45 minutes a week, but they go home and they do the work. And so I always am so humbled when they allow us to be part of their journey. And I'm going to say, I think this is the third time they put in the work. We can provide them the tools, but they're the ones that are going at home and living it. And so sort of supporting that.
Supporting, sure. I saw just with back to school coming up and everything. One of the things that always stands out in my mind is the mom walking one or two kids into school, and mom's up here and the kid's down there, and the kid always has his hand or her hand raised, like lead me, follow me. The innocence. We have to take care of our kids. I'll tell you, sometimes I don't want to talk to adults. I'd rather talk to kids. I mean, they kind of get it a little better. But I really feel that this next generation coming up is going to make significant change. And starting to address our problems and differences. So I'm really hopeful. It's a new learning agenda. It doesn't throw out the old. No, absolutely not. But how do we nurture that and then teach kids new ways, new techniques, how to live in a very complex world? We're experiencing things we never experienced before. The pandemic just went by. What scar did that leave on our children? I don't think that story's been fully explained yet.
I think it changed socially how we view things. And I think back in the olden days, in my time, when we would think of online friends, well, that wasn't real relationships because you haven't met them. But now, after COVID, those are real relationships. And I think that that's something that we really have to look at and redefine that. Because at that time, that's the only way that you could really build and communicate. And I think sometimes as parents, we forget that and we look at those as not real relationships. I think that's something that comes into my office quite frequently.
Well, we're coming up near the end of our show, and I want to give you an opportunity to do a wrap-up. How folks can get a hold of you. Are you on Facebook? What's going on? So,
all the things. We are on all the things.
Everything,
so, yes,
okay.
We do
I did see you on the side of that bus. That's right, too. Okay, all right, right.
So we do have Facebook, Siouxland Mental Health. We have SiouxlandMentalHealth.com/kids would be for the Child and Adolescent Center, but if you go to our website, that'll get you there too. Like I said, our phone number is 712-226-4KID, and then we're located at 4265 Sargent Road.
Well, that's the old Pier 1.
It is.
Yeah,
it
okay.
Is,
How did I know that?
It is. It is beautiful. So like I said, it was made for kids in mind. And so when you walk in there, it's definitely a space that you can tell kids get to use their language to talk.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck, Brenda, your former colleague.
Absolutely. Congratulations. This is very exciting for the Siouxland area and pretty inspirational. Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for having me back.
Well, you're welcome. We're coming up towards the end of our show, and every week we end our show with a joke. Humor is medicine for the soul. So here's our joke for the week. What do you call a hen who counts her own eggs?
Oh, boy. I have no idea.
A mathemachicken. Captain Kind told me that one.
I'll probably steal it.
Thanks, Brenda, Amy, and also thanks to our listening audience. Shout Out 2023 is dedicated to all families with children returning to school. This is a great time of year to resume routines and focus on new opportunities to let our children thrive. Don't forget to visit the new and improved Stuff Store. New stuff arriving daily. Stuff is located in the former Indian Hill Shopping Plaza, the new home of the Ginny Peterson Behavioral Health Campus. Boys and Girls Home and Family Service is hiring therapists and teachers. Call our HR manager at 293-4700. A great place to work. We change lives. When Things Aren't Going Well, will air next Saturday morning at 7 a.m. right here on 1360 AM, 90.9 FM, KSCJ. Your homework this week is to go out and have a good laugh. Remember, be kind to your mind. Peace.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
For more information on the services provided by Boys and Girls Home and Family Services, see them online at boysandgirlshomeiowa.org. Or you can call 712-293-4700 to get more information about family services, residential treatment, the Opportunity School, the Siouxland Family Center, and more. At Boys and Girls Home and Family Services, we change lives. We change lives. We change lives.